Welcome to the Golf Spotlight. I'm Ralph Irvin, and today we are at the Club Champion store in Orlando, Florida, to take a look at the new drivers for 2018, see how they compare and some of their great traits and characteristics. And to tell us about them is the master fitter, master builder here at Club Champion, the Rob Stump. Rob, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
A lot of great new drivers and a lot of different technology this year. It's surprising how many different ideas that club builders have come up with this year.
And it's surprising how all of them work. They just work for different people. So the new Callaway gear, the new Ping gear, Titleist, TaylorMade obviously is making a lot of waves with their technology, specifically their flex face technology. I'm looking forward to seeing that one, and the rest of the stuff in here has been performing too.
Well, and one right off the bat that is different technology is Cobra, that's introducing a milled face with their F8 drivers.
It is, and it's providing from driver to driver a much more consistent product. So these manufacturers every year, they get better at it, but at the end of the day, they're still building clubs in mass and in volume, and the more that they can do in order to make the product from one component to another perform consistently, the more we benefit as consumers and as golfers, and that's exactly what the milled face does.
And it's performed well for Ricky Fowler so far, and obviously he's one of the longest drivers on tour.
Yeah, Cobra's a very underrated brand in my experience. It holds its own next to every other driver out there as far as distance and forgiveness goes.
You talk about Titleist in that they introduced the 917 back in the fall of 2016, but it's still their latest product with the movable weight is quite exceptional.
As far as the flexibility goes, as far as actually being able to fit a driver to a golfer, the Titleist stuff is as good as anybody's. You've got a weight in the rear of the club that you can position either in a draw or fade bias, so you can manipulate the CG, which will manipulate the face closure in order to affect the offline direction. And then with their SureFit hosel, which they've had in place for almost 10 years now, we're able to dial in the trajectory and the lie angle independent of one another, which is a luxury as a fitter.
And you talk about being flexible to almost any golfer. That's always been the case with Ping.
Ping's about fitting. That's their MO, game improvement, and for the golfer, making sure it's for them. Their new G400 has been doing really, really well. They've got 3 heads. It's a comprehensive line. You've got the low spin head, you've got their standard head, very neutral, and then they have the SFT, which stands for straight flight technology. That helps the guy that battles a slice.
And last year, obviously, Callaway made a big impression when they introduced the Epic and their jailbreak technology, and they've improved that with a new Rogue driver.
Yeah, it's still 2 separate lines, so the Rogue is not replacing the Epic. The Rogue is, and we have it in our shop right behind your shoulder, it's a little bit more elongated than the Epic is, so at the end of the day, simply put, it's more forgiving than the Epic across the face. Launch conditions, spin conditions, in my experience, has been somewhat comparable to the Epic, but they also offer you a Pro profile in the Sub-Zero, so something that if you want a really low launch and low spin, a little more fade biased, you have it. Then they also offer you a draw biased head, again, like the SF Tech and the G400. And
then we wrap up with TaylorMade, which is, you mentioned, the twist face technology, totally different technology out there.
I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't speak to it, but everybody that I've been talking to has been saying, yeah, this is legitimate, and it doesn't look that funny when you set it down. Some people say you can hardly notice it at all, but if you just look at the design or the engineering of the head, all of it adds up.
Well, and one of the funny things is, obviously you're talking about some of the better players in the world, but it's already been really successful in just a few weeks on tour.
Yeah, John Rahm won with it yesterday. It's just the proof's in the pudding. Same thing happened with Ricky Fowler. He won with his first week out on the driver, and I guess even at the best players in the world understand, you know, when you get a good new club in your hand, that the confidence it can inspire, I think it resonates with all sorts of golfers. But yes, the TaylorMade product's going to be well received. I know that.
Well, and you talk about getting fit for the right driver, getting the right club in your hands, and how you can have success immediately. That's what you guys do here at Club Champion, is bring people in to get fit for that perfect driver.
Every single day. And one of the things we're proud of, and we tout it all the time, is we're completely agnostic, so we don't favor one brand over the other. We want you to come in with an open mind as far as the vendors go and let us see actually which component works the best for you, and then we build it and make sure it's perfect.
All right, Rob, if people want more information on Club Champion or your store here in Orlando, where do they go?
Go to www.clubchampiongolf.com or give us a buzz here at the shop.
All right, Rob, thanks for joining me again.
Thank you, too. I appreciate it.
I want to thank Rob Stump for joining us here on the Golf Spotlight. Join us next time as we continue to give you the information that you need on your next golf purchase.